most. I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel brother from the student of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Real quick, man, this is titled Renters in America Are Running Out of Options due to the ongoing housing crisis, what they call Biden inflation, which America has really been inflating since the time of they took the dollar off the gold standard, so to speak, back in the 70s, man. So you've been having prices of inflation for the last 40 plus years, man. All right, with no sign of any slowdown in needs. Okay, but now it's accelerating at a rapid rate because, you know, the purchasing power of the dollar is getting weak and it's being devalued due to the other nations pulling their reserves out of the dollar. So therefore, you see what they call inflation or hyperinflation. Okay, but one thing about ongoing rents, it's a little tricky because when you have development properties or you have what they call developments, okay, which can be a property management, whatever you want to call it. Oftentimes, man, they have what they call market rates, which market rates far exceeds the revenue value of a particular worker, so to speak. Like an average apartment, what they will say market rate will go for $1,045. That's $1,045, and I'm using it as an example. Okay, but a lot of times they will say, well, we can give you the unit for $700 a month, but really market rate, which is 300%. A 300% markup. What they do over the years is they continue to increase it till it hits the alleged market rate, and they could continue to increase it. Say, well, this apartment really goes for $1,244, but we gave it to you for $978 a month. So over the years, what will happen is that they will come in and they will raise the rents every year. So eventually, you will be paying market rate, and then oftentimes they do these cheap repairs. They may put $3 million into a rehabilitation project to rehab a property, and out of that $3 million, they may spend like $1 million, okay, with cheap shit, and then over a course of years they will get that back quadruple. So they would be justified on raising rents and so forth like that every year, which forces people that work, lower class people, to moving off the neighborhoods as not desirable. It's not safe. Okay, even in some cases, people resort to being homeless because, you know, most people, or so-called most Americans, they don't believe in working and not being able to have a life outside of work. Okay, but that's the American dream. All right, which, you know, documentaries have came out. People have done videos and complaining about the American dream is nothing but a damn nightmare. It's a joke because, like I said, it's a constant rat race to the finish line, just like a hamster pinwheel syndrome. The hamster is steady running, thinking that it's going to go somewhere, but it's in one place. And that's how the American society, that's how the people in America, that's the mentality of them, okay? They think that they're getting somewhere, but yet they're still being held back, okay? Because you're at what they call the debt class ceiling, which they allow certain people to get above, and then the majority of the people, mainly you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites, our people, we are bound by that debt class ceiling, okay? Because they had a term, keep the rich rich and the poor poor. Okay, so oftentimes the average working citizen is not able to cross over to that threshold of riches unless you get lucky and hit the lotto. But even then, Esau will give you 3, 4, 5 mil in a lotto pick by random because you know you're gonna blow it any goddamn way. You know you're gonna destroy it. You know, he knows you're not gonna invest the money. And even so, if you do invest the money, you got these high-level brokers that's gonna take advantage and they're gonna clean you out. So it's all a sick game, man, okay? It's all a sick game. Like I was reading some comments and so forth, and you got people, and I prayed that Vice City, I don't know how established they are. I don't know if they will flag the video. They may say copyright. If that's the case, I'll copy and paste the link and put it in the description. And I'll just kind of cut the video from where I stopped it and then just upload me speaking. That way they can't say that I took the video. You know what I'm saying? That way you brothers could still get a whiff from what I'm saying. But this is a highly recommended documentary to watch. It's only 24 minutes, man. You know, and you can watch the first 5-10 minutes of it. You have an idea on what it's talking about. But overall, it's capitalism, corporate greed. You know, these people come in, they buy this property, they rehab them, and they push Jake out. like Spanish Harlem, Harlem, upstate New York, Buffalo, New York. It's a lot of Jakes out there, but a lot of Jakes, man, that lived in Uptown or in Manhattan, or just say Chicago. You got the Gold Coast, you know what I'm saying? You got the Magnificent Mile. You got places like Evergreen Plaza, or Evergreen Park, which is highly lucrative, okay? Even to this day, that's still owned by rich doctors and lawyers and judges. You know, it's down on Evergreen Park, Illinois. You got they don't even allow Jake over there for the most part. They got the roads pretty much blocked and barricaded off because they want to control the traffic, because they refuse to give that to Jake. But even if you go further west into Evergreen Park, and then even further west to Oakland, okay, you got Oakland, Illinois, which is predominantly Edomites. It's a nice area, man. The average house over there is going for probably 3 or 4 mil. You know, and you got to have top credit, or allegedly top credit, if you're a Jake, if you want to live in these neighborhoods. You see, which is a total different thing for Esau, because I've heard stories that Edomites going in and getting approved for loans with bad credit, with no credit, while Jake ain't got no credit, and Jake gets hit with 28% interest. Esau gets 10%. So it's a biasness behind it, man. Okay, because same thing with insurance. That's the reason why they ask you your address, your zip code, you know what I'm saying, what type of vehicle you drive, or a lot of times if you are filling out a credit application, they're going to ask you ethnicity, and they're not supposed to, but a lot of times they ask you that unless they've changed it. You see what I'm saying? And then they can kind of categorize you by your ethnicity, and they say, okay, well, he's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, well, we could charge them 30-40%. But even then, give them like a 10% tax break. That way, we get a tax break. We don't have to pay taxes for the year. So if we got 5 Negroes, 3 Latinos, and 2 Native Americans in these units, that will give us a big tax break. Okay, so it's not because they care to see you not homeless. They don't care. That is the fact that they get breaks on taxes once they hire Jake, or they put Jakes in these affordable units, so to speak, in these nice neighborhoods. It ain't because they nice to you and they want you around them. No, fuck no. That's the reason why rents are going up, you know, constantly. You know, even in the most shitholes apartment complexes, rent going up, man. You know, like I know this one apartment complex out here. Was across the street from the federal complex. They tore the federal complex down, and basically it's pretty much urban now. Back in the day, the federal workers used to live in the complex, and if you look at it now, the complex is nice. It's real nice. It's laid out. You'll go around and you say, okay, this is a working class middle family, and you do got Edomites around there. I kid you not, you got Edomites, but they kind of separate from Jake. But when you go around there, it's all Jake pretty much for the most part. You see what I'm saying? And the rents were cheap for the most part, but since they bought another company came in, and I guess they appraised it and they're gonna renovate it, the rents went up, man. So a 1-bedroom apartment now is probably gonna run you about 900. 2-bedroom about $1,000+ man. You know, and these are 1,000 square foot plus apartments, man. Nice apartments. You know, but you know, they want to get Jake up out of there, so they're gonna raise the rent, and that's the shit, man. That's the end. You know, we in the end. It's prophecy. Okay, like the older Edomite was saying, he had to get out of the trailer park because, you know, it was affecting his health issues, asbestos. You know, like a lot of these old units, man, they were built in the 60s. A lot of them are corroded. A lot of them have mold. Okay, a lot of them have bug issues, cockroach issues, water bug issues. You know, mice. You know, you don't know what's behind these walls, what kind of mold. But see what they do, they come and they put a mask over it to sell it off. But deep down inside, you could be dying from being in the goddamn apartment. But if you can't afford nowhere, where else you gonna go, man? Okay, which shows you that's why Esau has to be put down. Okay, because even the scriptures say, woe to them that build house to house. All right, so I'm gonna just bring out a couple of precepts here. I looked up usury, okay, because usury is nothing more but adding interest on back of a loan, so to speak. Like if somebody say, hey, let me get $150 and I'll pay you back in 2 weeks. And I'm supposed to say, okay, well, this is your time frame. This is $150. I'll expect that in 2 weeks on this particular day. But if he can't pay me, I don't add 10, 20% more. That's wicked, because if he couldn't pay me what he owed me, how much more can he pay? How can he pay more? That's why bills are wicked. That's why credit cards are wicked. All this shit is wicked. Improves the purchasing power of the dollar is trash, because for one thing, that's why they call it a debt note. Because every month you accumulate new debt. You pay rent for 1 month and then you got to pay it again. When the purchasing power, if you had silver or gold, you should just be able to buy the unit for a particular price and be done with it. Don't have no rents. You know, like when people get their house built from the ground up, they pay it off, whatever, then they got to get a mortgage. They get mortgages because this is a credit-based system. You see, it's a credit-based system founded on usury. And the dollar has no purchasing power, so you're accumulating new debts. That's the reason why you have a gas bill, a light bill. It's all wicked. But that's the reason why they allow the credit-based system, because with money that's not being backed by anything or fiat currency, what happens is that it's not really paying anything. You're just recycling it, so to speak. So therefore, you will never be out of goddamn debt, man. That's the reason why you got a recurring bill every month, because the purchasing power of the dollar is trash. You know, in the ancient world, when you bought something, you owned it. Okay, if you built a well or you bought a well, you wanted to sell it off, or you want to sell a tenth of the land. Okay, like I believe Jacob, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to think of the particular that had the springs. Okay, he had the springs, he had the water wells and so forth like that. The inheritance, the land, you know, the cows, gave him a spring. You know what I'm saying? The brooks and so forth like that. If you had a spring or a brook of water in the ancient world and you bought that, or it was inherited to you, and you wanted to sell it for X, Y, and Z, then you know what I'm saying? You sell it to the guy, he'll buy it, and it's his. Unless y'all set up some type of payment plan and he said, well, look, you can work. Same thing like with I think it was was it Jacob? It wasn't Jacob. Damn, I'm tripping, man. Basically, when he worked for Laban, okay, when he wanted Leah and Rachel, what happened? Okay, he wanted Leah and Rachel, but he had to work an extra 7 years to get the one he really wanted. You see what I'm saying? That was like his theme of payment. You see what I'm saying? So through the spirit, man, that's how it worked. If you couldn't afford it at the time, then you worked until you paid it off. But overall, when you own something, it's yours. So that's why living in development is as wicked as all hell. All right, so this is Exodus 22 and 25. It says, if thou lend to any of my people that is by thee, thou should not be to him as a usurer, neither should thou lay upon him usury. Now, if you go into the word usury, it's just going to say interest, you know, 25% interest, 30% interest. You buy a car loan and you have no credit. All of a sudden now you're getting paid interest. You got to pay interest. Like a lot of times you take out a loan on a car, you don't even pay towards the principal, you're paying on the interest. You don't pay towards the principal until you're almost done with paying off the interest. Because what happens if let's just say if you got a $10,000 loan, the car may be priced at $2,000, but you paying $8,000 in interest. So let's just say if you pay $100 a month on that $8,000 loan, I'm gonna say $90 of that is gonna go to the interest, and then 10% to the principal. Okay, so what happens is you would never be done paying the damn thing off in time. So what usually happens is what they call a deferment payment, a deferment of a loan. When you're deferring a loan, you're basically taking the back end or what's on the front, and you're putting it to the back end. It's not necessarily that you get how can I say it? It's not the fact that you're getting a pardon from paying the bill. They're just taking what you missed and putting it on the back end of the loan. And oftentimes they don't tell you that what you defer still collects interest on top of interest. That's how this man is wicked, man. This man is wicked. You'll never get out of debt. That's why the scriptures say we will be subject to payments. Okay, this is real slavery, man. We're contractual slaves, you know. And it says, take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy power, that thy brother may live with thee. Okay, and it's talking about, you know, as far as you got to give Jake, you know what, just give the man, you know, let him live, man. You know what I'm saying? Let him live. All right, you don't defraud a man of his living. You don't make it hard for him. Well, okay, since you not eligible for a credit card, therefore, okay, well, we're going to give you a credit card, but we're going to charge you 36% interest. If you miss that payment, it's going to go up to 38% interest. So how in the hell can you add more payment to a person that can't fucking pay? It makes sense if it was the opposite way. If you know the person have a hard time paying, it would make sense if he pays lower. Okay, if he had a lower amount, what they call it, well, you're a high risk buyer. Oh, okay, a high risk buyer. Well, I wouldn't be a high risk buyer if you didn't put all the fucking interest on it, man. You see how this devil is? That's why when we put you Edomites in slavery, you ain't gonna have a goddamn thing, man. You ain't gonna have a pot to piss in when we done with you. You ain't gonna have no apartment. You look, the shitholes you put Jake, that shit gonna look like motherfucking Rothschild mansion compared to what your ass ain't gonna get. Putting Jake in the projects, man, putting them on top of each other, you gonna wish you had that much of the key. You ain't gonna have nothing. You're gonna literally be stuffed in pits, man. Okay, you're not gonna have any land. Okay, because we gonna take your land. You're not gonna have any land. Okay, you're not gonna own nothing. Only thing you gonna do is be a straight up slave in a kingdom, working until you give out. Only thing you gonna be entitled to in the kingdom is the Shabbat, is the day off. That's it. That's one day of the week. And then just because you get that one day, we gonna work your ass even harder than that. So you better learn to enjoy that Sabbath of rest, man. That's gonna be a national holiday in the kingdom for you Edomites. You're gonna look forward to the Sabbath. You see, but after the Sabbath ends, we're going to put your ass to work, man. Okay, and every day is going to be a lot harder. And then the last day for the Sabbath, you may just work your ass till you drop dead. Okay, because you've done it to our people. Jake can't get ahead in this society if they want to. You got men out there that's trying to live honestly, man. But then you got to worry about fucking child support. You got to worry about taxes, being sued, and car insurance. Car insurance is going up, man. You know, everything is going up. And if you're a male under the age of 25, you're definitely paying more in insurance because they claim you're a high risk, and they only do that to Jake. Esau has naturally lower interest rates than Jake. You a Jake and you a black male at the age of 21, and you buy a new car, you paying fucking $400 a month in insurance, man. You know, and that's just liability. Let's not go to full coverage. You may be paying fucking $600 in full coverage, and then you get into a wreck, they still might not cover it, man. So this is a wicked ass system, and we need to be delivered from it. Okay, because Jake, man, it's a done deal. It says, "Thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase." Right, and that's what Esau did, man. You know, same thing with the elites, how they used to buy up all the land for cheap. You know, and then all of a sudden they would sell it back to the buyer for double the amount. That's what they do. It's the same tactic. That's why New York, Manhattan, okay, uptown, upstate New York, out there in parts Albany, a lot of them Amalekites own them lands out there, man. They own those condos. They own those buildings. So they're gonna raise the rents up, man. And they ain't gonna put no money into it. If they know it's all Jake, they ain't gonna renovate it. And if they want Jake up out of there, they'll renovate it and get you out of there. They would gentrify the shit, man. All right. Deuteronomy 23:19, it says, "Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother. Usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury." And like I said, if you go into that word, usury goes into interest. And it says, "And unto a stranger thou mayest lend usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy power may bless thee in all that thou settest thy hand to do in the land, whether thou goest to possess it," man. Okay, and that's another thing too. You Jakes, man, you be with this same system because, like, say for example, you meet a Jake on the street. You know what I'm saying? Jake, like, let me get $25. Like, okay, I'll give you 20, but you got to give me 30 next week. That's usury, man. Well, I got to give you more. If you ain't got the shit, you just don't loan it out. Just like, look, I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? You don't try to come up off another Jake, man, unrighteously. You know? Psalms 15:5, it says, "He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor take a reward against the innocent, but he that does these things shall never be moved." Right? Dealing righteously. Like Solomon didn't deal with usury. It was to the point that even the door greeters in Solomon's kingdom was decked out, man. Okay? You see what happened when she came up? She thought that the door greeter was Solomon, man. Then she fainted, passed out, when she realized how Solomon was living and all his servants. So just imagine how all the Israelites are going to be in the kingdom of heaven, man. We ain't going to be fucking paying no goddamn rent in the kingdom. We ain't going to be paying no light bill. Not going to be paying no electric bill. Okay? We ain't going to have no damn cell phones. We ain't going to be paying no damn chariot note. Oh, well, you go up to the headquarters and you try to apply for a chariot, you know, because you other nations, man, you other nations, man, your ass going to get taxed, because the scripture did say we can lend usury upon you, you were strangers, man. So we can't tax you to death. So you heathens want chariots in the kingdoms or whatever you're going to get. We going to tax your ass, man. Because we can lend usury upon a stranger, but see, Esau is technically our brother because we come out of the same parents. So he wasn't supposed to do that to us, man. He could do it to you heathens, but even then, you got Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, Ham. They come over here and they get these business grants, 85,000 to 100,000 a year, just to set up businesses. They get put through certain business schools, paid for, rent free. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see a lot of these coolies, these Elamites that live in these nice new developments, $1,500 a month. They ain't paying that shit, man, because they over here on visa status. They ain't gotta pay that. But yet you look at the way they live, these are a bunch of funky, detestable, low-life heathens, man. That's exactly what they are. And then you get a jake that try to get an honest living, they're gonna try to charge you $2,000 a month for the same goddamn apartment that some nasty, dusty, musty ass Elamite is paying half the price, probably paying $500 a month. You know, because that's set up to oppress you, man. All right. Proverbs 28:8, it says, he that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he should gather it for him that would pity the poor. Right, because eventually all your riches that you stole is going to be transferred. See, wealth is never really destroyed. Wealth is transferable, okay, from one empire to the next. Like a lot of times when kings, ancient kings took down the other, like when we took down the Philistines and when we got out of the land of Egypt, okay, the Most High said, look, man, take their substance, take their gold, take everything, and you could take them as slaves. Okay, so oftentimes when you have spoils of war, then there was a time that the Most High said, kill everything, don't take nothing. And at times the Most High said, look, kill them and take the spoils, take their women to be your concubines, and kill the kids, kill the men, take their gold, take their slaves. Right, because you're it's called spoils, man. So right now, the nation of Israel, we're spoiled under Esau. So all the gold, the riches, the Jews, and so forth, that's our wealth, but we're spoiled. So he has it. It's transferred into him. But like it said here, it says he should gather for him that will pity the poor. So all this gold you're storing up, eventually we're going to get that back. Them gold bars that you allegedly had in Fort Knox, but you don't have them anymore. Okay, a lot of these Edomites are hoard them in offshore bunkers and shit like that. Ain't nothing down in Fort Knox, man. The security level down there is very low, you know, but that gold, we're going to pave our street, or you're going to pave our streets with it, okay, because it's just sitting there. You ain't using it, you know, so we're going to pave the streets of Jerusalem with pure gold, man. Literally, brothers coming in mansions and so forth. We're going to literally have a substance in our homes, man. Just the crystals alone is going to be healing. We ain't walking into some goddamn apartment, some 7 square foot apartment with asbestos, just chalk paint, drywall, which is all poison. You got filthy carpet, man. You got this mucus textile and all this other stuff, man. Hell nah. You know, it ain't gonna work that way, man. All right. This precept, this is the book of Sirach 4:1. It says, my son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long. Okay, Esau has defrauded. That's all he does is defraud. Okay, we are totally being defrauded. Just renting an apartment every month, that's a fucking scam. You know what I'm saying? Because you making somebody else rich, and yet you don't even own the place. And it says, make not the hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress, and add not more trouble to a heart that is vexed, and defer not to give him that is in need. Right? Because you saw the people on here, they was complaining. They said, well, look, man, you know, rents are going up, 8% rent increase, 24% rent goes up every year. You know, it goes up every year. They're not supposed to go up them. Even if they do go up, it's supposed to be very little. But it ain't like they're doing any renovations. So if you ain't doing any renovations and you ain't gutting things out and making it new, there's no point to go up on it. And even then, from the amount of rent you're collecting, that should be enough money to renovate it without going up on people's rents, because you're overcharging. Okay? It says, and reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from the poor man. Turn not away thy eyes from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee. For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, the prayer should be heard of him that made him, man. Okay? So Esau, man, you going down. You're going to pay. All right? Because you've done nothing but afflict us since the day we've been afflicted, and we're steadily afflicted, man. Like the scriptures say right here, this is the book of Baruch 4. And I'm going to start at verses... I think it's 4, subject to payments. talking about this out in a minute. I think it may be 3. Yep. 3 and 8. Yep. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. That's slavery. You know, like I said, you have a recurring bill every goddamn month. Phone bill, light bill, gas bill. How the hell you gonna have a gas bill and you got a goddamn electric furnace? Your whole house is pretty much electric, but yet, you know what I'm saying, you still paying a gas bill. You know, this tax, that tax, property tax, car note, insurance, subscriptions, man, Netflix, all, you know, just, and the list goes on. Child support, alimony, you know, and it just continues to go on. And it don't matter if you ain't working, they gonna still add more to it, you know. But it says here, to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which have departed from Yahweh our power. All right. But hey, the good news is that this system is crashing, because sooner than later, people are going to start to revolt, and they're going to start taking to the streets, man, because people, they don't want to deal with it anymore. People are going to start quitting their jobs. They're going to start walking away from these homes, their apartments. Things are going to be forcibly put into foreclosure, and people are going to take to the streets, and they're going to start taking what they want because they feel like them working for it is not enough. So when this gas goes up, once the dollar gets weaker, okay, once the lights go out, rents continue to increase, that's when people are going to really start masking up with the gloves on, and they're going to start going house to house, and they're going to start taking shit, man. Okay, so those of you that don't have the covering of the Lord, hey, you're going to fall victim to one of these judgments, whether it be the plagues, the pestilence, okay, the martial law, the FEMA camps, or ultimately those nuclear missiles. Either way it goes, if you don't have the protection of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, you're going to fall victim to these particular judgments that the Lord is getting ready to pour out at full wrath, man. So anyway, I'm going to end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom and a baba ball.